one of the first core value is, every vendor is a channel partner.
Okay.
And he has to be taken care of. So the pace that we have to be is on a yesterday pace. If something was supposed to be done today, it should have happened yesterday. So everything affects your exports. You need to be on your toes. You need to be up and running on the click of a button in exports. If you miss the bus, you're gone.
Hello everyone, welcome to another series of Embrace Excellence. It is a pleasure again to be back on this talk show for Corporate Connections. I'm Nihar Yerubandi, one of the National Directors of Corporate Connection India. And today I have with me a gentleman who's going through a very, very interesting phase where he's brought about a company from its first generation stage to its second generation. He's been leading its growth. Now there is an interesting transition happening where the third generation is entering the business. The brand name is quite popular. It's BakeMate. A lot of you would have heard. There are tons of brands under this belt, and it's a pleasure for me today to introduce to all of you Mr. Adarsh Agarwal, who is the Managing Director at Disha Foods Private Limited. Hello, Adarsh. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
I heard you keep traveling a lot, so how was September for you? I mean, it just started. How was August for you? Sorry.
August was also quite busy, and even September, the first week I was only traveling.
Okay.
Yeah, I just came back on Saturday morning.
Nice, nice. And considering your brand is globally present, does this make you traveling across the globe, or how is it?
Definitely, yes. Because we are into exports and all, I need to travel to many countries, and in general, I think I go on a overseas trip once in 2 months.
Okay, okay.
And the rest is domestic travel. We have a plant in Uttarakhand also, which is called SWG SWG Industries Limited.
Okay.
So I see those operations as well. So I travel there. I travel for domestic market. That's a lot of travel.
That's wonderful. And just speaking of internationally, I would love everyone to hear from the horse's mouth itself. How many countries are you present in?
Today we are present in 67 countries.
Brilliant. And which is your top? What are your top 3 markets?
So Israel, though it's a very small country.
Okay.
So that is our biggest market today. UAE, Cuba. Very odd countries that I'm taking, but they are really doing very well for us.
That's really interesting. Glad I didn't ask you this question before, because there is a surprise look on my face as well. But how did you crack Israel and Cuba out of all?
See, Israel is a very difficult market because anything in food products, when you sell it there, it has to be kosherized.
Okay.
There is a priest who's called Rabbi, who comes in, who cleans up your machines with the holy water, with hot water. It's a nuisance process. But they believe in it. It's a religious thing, so we can't help it. So we need to pass through all those hassles.
Okay.
And then in kosher itself, there is a light kosher and a high kosher, they call it.
Okay.
So we have been dealing with a guy who's doing with high kosher. High kosher, I think India, we are the first people to do that.
Okay.
And the market, the Jews, the way they are spread across the globe, I think this year we would be opening up UK, US, Germany, just for kosher products.
Amazing. Just for the benefit of our audience, even for me, what does kosher products actually mean?
Kosher means, as I told you, first the machine has to be cleansed by the rabbi. Everything that we produce has to be in the presence of rabbi.
Wow.
And there are certain products which we are not supposed to use as an ingredient. Anything with animal, we are not supposed to use. So fat, whatever we are using as a fat, though it's a vegetable fat, still it has to be kosher certified. just to ensure that no animal fat is used.
That's interesting. But you do export your products from here, right? Or do you have a plant set up there?
No, we only do exports from here.
You only do exports from here. So there's a lot that you have to adhere to while dealing with a country like this.
Exactly.
That's very interesting. I mean, the kind of countries that you got into, the story behind that is really interesting. So before I just jumped into the questions directly because I was really keen to understand what's your travel like and how's the international market like. But just stepping back and how I started it all, right? While I was talking about legacy, talking about first gen, second gen, third gen entrepreneurs, you're exactly in between. So you would have seen what's behind you.
We get sandwiched.
Yeah, what lies ahead of you. So this is an interesting anecdote or a fact that I've heard from one of the CC members while having a conversation where they told me that 90% of the businesses pass on from first gen to second gen, about 30 to 40 pass on from second to third gen, and after third gen only 10% pass on to the next. And if they pass on, they live on for a very long time, like the Tatas and the big brands that we are talking about. So what is legacy according to you?
See, legacy is what the first generation has created. That is something which we can never achieve because they didn't had a ground and they built everything from the scratch. So, there is a saying called money attracts money.
Yes.
So today, as a second generation, I've got a foundation, I've got the wherewithal, I've got the basic bank balances. So money can attract money much easier. But to create that wealth, I'm sure that was a real journey which the first generation did. Coming to us, as a second generation, I personally feel there is a lot of expectations from us. At the same time, we are not given the kind of powers what should be handed over to us.
Okay.
So even today, like being in business for more than 28 years now, I still need to go to my dad, my uncles and ask permissions before I do anything, which the first generation didn't had to.
Yes.
They had their own struggles. I have my own struggle.
True.
Coming to the third generation, I feel they are born with a golden spoon. So, because of which they have a very laid back attitude. The way my son approaches business today and the way we approach the business at his age is quite different. Today they only understand smart work. They don't understand hard work. So that's a struggle. But at the same time, we also get a lot of new ideas from them while discussing, which maybe we are missing it out.
Was there any new idea that came to you? You said about 2 years, right? Your son's been into business.
Yes.
That you implemented that has actually had an impact in your organization?
My son was behind me to implement CRM. So with a lot of resistance, a lot of force, I had to agree to that. So, but today, after implementing the CRM, I'm really seeing the difference, the ease of operations. So that's a small thing, and the way he takes care of, he heads the export business for me now.
Wonderful.
The way he does things, sometimes I'm actually shocked. The risk-taking ability of this youngsters is way high.
Do you think it's because of being a third generation entrepreneur, or do you think it's this age of?
I think it's this age, because I have my friends who are first generation entrepreneurs. I have my friends whose son are second generation entrepreneurs. I see that everyone has that risk-taking ability. They can just dive into anything.
What was risk during your time when you entered business? How did you view risk taking as?
I was not allowed to do any risk taking. I told you, even today I have to ask my dad, my uncles, that can I do this, can I do that? So the risk taking was always shared.
Okay.
And once I get an approval from them, then only things used to happen.
Okay. Okay.
But this generation, you just can't stop them.
I get that. So from when you started, when did you join the business? At what age? Which year was this?
I joined when I was 19 years old. Right when I was doing my graduation, I was asked to come to a factory. So I started like a salesman, wherein I used to go on a three-wheeler along with a salesman or a distributor salesman, doing retail, door-to-door retail. So that's how I started my journey.
That's brilliant. So from then to here, I'm sure there are huge changes you would have personally brought into the organization. Could you share us one story that really is close to you that you felt has played a significant role in your organization moving forward to where it is? It's a hugely recognized brand, and I'm sure there is some story that's at the back which we would love to hear from you.
See, our family as such, we have huge number of manpower within the family. We are a family of 14 people who are into the business.
Wow.
So generally everything was, is taken care by the family member. So I am constantly behind professionalizing the whole system. To a larger extent now I've been able to professionalize the sales. I've been able to professionalize the operations. Now I think I need to take HR and finance as a thing and, make it more professionalized.
That's wonderful. So what's the future like for your brand when you look at it from your lines?
See, the changes in today's market is, every day you get up and you see a different world. Like the latest decision of government making biscuits from 18% to 5% sounds so good.
Is it good?
It has its own negatives. The initial negative is right now none of the distributor wants stocks. So you can't keep producing and holding it for 20 days, 25 days.
True.
So we have come to a grinding halt. We really don't know how to go about it. People say, let 22nd come, let the rate change happen, and suddenly the things would change.
Yeah, the primary sales would go up.
Yeah.
Right?
So this kind of challenges is on an everyday basis, specifically exports. Like our friend Trump made us from 0 to 50% duty. So our exports to US got badly affected. And that used to contribute around 12% of our exports to US.
That's huge.
Can't help it. I was talking about Cuba. Cuba is a sanctioned country. So dealing with Cuba, you need to be very, very careful. So things like this keep coming, keep going. Some country in some place of the world would suddenly increase import duties.
Yes.
So where we have a huge business would go in a second.
No, I think that's a very, very interesting point that you're catching up on, right? The global, I think the global markets, the macroeconomic conditions are impacting us much more than ever before. Because
Yes.
earlier it used to be recession once in 8 years. This is, completely my understanding. Whatever started with COVID, everything went down, and soon after that you're seeing war, you're seeing something else happening. You have everything that could happen very, very interestingly that will happen. And now it's impacting businesses much more than anyone else, right? When you're globally dependent. Do you think being dependent on global markets is still the right way to go, or you have to choose your markets, or you have to diversify your risk? How would you look at that?
I think it's a diversification of risk that we are looking at. As I told you, our business is divided into basically 3 parts. One is domestic sales, one is exports, and third is private and white labels.
And which one's the largest contributor of all this?
As of today, if I see volumes, volume-wise, private and white label is the largest. Second is domestic. Exports, we started just 4 years back.
Okay.
So we are small baby right now.
But you had touched 67 countries in 4 years.
Yes.
How is that possible?
As I told you, I keep traveling, and I travel when our sales teams goes, makes the basic study. They are ready with a distributor. Then only if I need, I will go, or else they will come and say, okay, the distributor is done, and we are starting the business. So there is a lot of travel because of that, and there are a lot of exhibitions that we do across the globe.
Got it. Got it. So just coming back to this question, you were talking about diversifying risk in international markets. Is the international business something that you see as growing very big for your organization in the future, where it might contribute a larger percentage, or it might become the cash cow in your room? Do you look at it that way?
It would. It would.
But with the macroeconomic conditions, with the global parameters,
still I believe.
Why would that be in your mind?
The reason is India has got the cheapest of the wheat, sugar. These are the two major items in chocolates, candies, and biscuits. So competing with India, and third is manpower. Considering these 3 points, I think it's very difficult for any other country to come and compete with us directly.
Okay.
And specifically biscuits and bakeries. I think India has evolved over the years on technology as well.
It's an interesting point, right? What is to our advantage that can make us a global leader? True. So just moving into a different segment altogether, I know we've spoken about business, how business works for you and stuff. What is Adarsh Agarwal like as a person? What really drives him? If we keep the business out of the equation, the individual, the man behind the work, what is he all about?
So I'm a fun-loving person. I like to be with my friends. And the biggest icebreaker for me, or stress buster, is being along with friends, laughing it out.
Oh, wonderful. So what is you have like a weekly routine catch-up or something with your friends?
If I'm in Hyderabad, I think I'll have to catch up with them twice a week.
Wonderful. That's really nice, because I see people who get into business, become busy, and they say they do not have time to meet their friends. You are on the opposite side of the spectrum.
That's my lifeline.
That's your lifeline. Nice. And all these people are from your school or college friends?
Yeah, school and college.
Yeah. And your entire schooling and college has been in Hyderabad?
Hyderabad, absolutely.
And what kind of an impact has that played in your life?
I think in my schooling, I come from a school where we were not encouraged much. So I was a very shy child till time I did my 12th. Coming into graduation was also not a very big thing, but coming into business, where I had to interact with many people and I had to represent the organization, so that really changed. And thanks to my elders that they put me into sales, wherein I had to meet every day at least 10 new people. So that really impacted. More than studies, I think that practical experience really gave me a lift.
I know. Nothing beats the practical experience. So now, are you someone who loves to go out and meet people more often?
Yeah. Why not?
Is that the reason we are seeing you in corporate connections? Do you get to meet different people?
Somehow, last 1 year, I have not been very active in this. Not 1 year. For this particular calendar year, I have not been very active. But in general, yes. That was one of the reasons that I wanted to meet new people, explore newer things.
That's great. And where do you see Hyderabad lying in all of these things? Because we are talking about economic slowdowns and stuff, but we see a huge opportunity in Hyderabad. You're a born and brought up lad from Hyderabad. Where do you see this city moving towards, and where do you think organizations like yours, big MSMEs that are contributing to the GDP, right, playing a role in the growth?
See, I feel in India, Hyderabad has got one of the best infrastructures. Even though the population has gone beyond 1 crore, still the kind of road jams what you get to see in Mumbai or Delhi or Bangalore, you don't see in Hyderabad. So that's a big boon. And because of the infra, I think there is a very, very bright future for Hyderabad as a city.
That's wonderful. And does that open doors for someone like you to expand into something, because this is a brand that you're very heavily invested into, but do you see an opportunity in the future that where you as a group or as an individual that you're planning to explore?
As a group, we are also there in real estate.
Wonderful.
Big time.
Okay.
That is being handled by my father and uncles. So I don't get into it, but we have already diversified into that. And we are also looking at opportunities to diversify into non-food products now.
Okay.
In manufacturing.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so have any work started on that, or it's...
Certain works have started, certain project reports are still under consideration.
Great.
Yeah.
So coming back to the point where it all started, right? We were talking about second generation, third generation entrepreneurs and legacy. How do you look at the transition? Because there are lessons you would have learned which worked in your favor. Like you told me that you going with the salesman actually opened you up. I'm sure that is something that worked really positive for you. You told me what are the challenges. So the real gig is in you passing, getting this all together and passing it on the right way to the next generation, right, who's completely different from what you were when you walked into the room. So how do you see this transition taking place for your organization? And I'm sure it's not a small transition, right? Transitions like these are usually over a decade. What do you see as the things that you would do right in this place to facilitate this transition in the most effective manner?
Again, fortunately, my dad is the guy who's taking it forward. He's taken up mentorship of the children for third generation. He is a person who, I can rate him as like a second to Hitler in business.
Wow.
He's a man, any person, anything, anywhere if they're stuck, if they come to him, they'll get a solution. With a lot of intellectual, and he was very, very aggressive with us. If we were not on time, he would have ripped us apart. But we are seeing him as a different person when he's handling the children.
He can't do the same thing with the new generation, right? He can't say, why you late?
So rather he started adopting towards their timings.
Okay.
So he says, you'll take an hour, I'll wait for you. So now, without saying anything, there is a huge pressure on the third generation that Dada is waiting and we need to rush down. So the way he's taking up is really brilliant.
That's wonderful. So you're seeing a flurry of the third gen entrepreneurs into the business in your family?
Absolutely.
Okay. And where do you see the business going under their leadership? Where do you think it's heading towards? Is the international game going to, because your son's heading exports right now, right? Yeah.
I think business is bound to grow. And with the third generation, I think what we are missing would start coming in, that is technology.
Okay.
Like I told you about CRM. CRM is a very small part of the technology. He has been now again pushing me that on operations also I need to have a proper, some kind of automation where sitting in on my table I would get every minute information.
Yes.
So he's been pushing me for that. So I see technology taking over a major part.
Great. So just touching on one thing related to legacy, right? Something I really wanted to pick your brains on is what exactly is passing on of legacy? I know I asked this question in the starting in a different thing, because a lot of them look at passing on as legacy. Sometime it's about the assets, right? And assets is not what makes you successful. Like you said, business will grow, money will come in, things will keep happening for what you said. How do you think your business will survive for the next 3-4 generations? What is it that the first and second generation, because your combined wealth of knowledge and experiences and rights and wrongs, when you pass it on in the right way, is what helps them be successful, right? Again, dealing with the resistance, because it's a completely different generation where I'm sure when you started out, the phone landlines were just coming in. And now we are at a place, I think technology has changed too much over the past three decades or something like that. So what would you pass on to ensure the legacy stays on for 3-4 years,
I
4
think
generations? Sorry.
the business ethics which the family has followed, the first generation has made certain rules, certain ethics which are there in business. I think those are very important. Children can learn things, they can earn money, but ethics is something which they need to imbibe from the family. So ethics is a very strong part of our business.
What are the core values of your organization? What is it that you stand for specifically?
So one of the first core value is, every vendor is a channel partner,
Okay.
and he has to be taken care of. I see organizations because we do a lot of white label, private label, the way the super companies kill the small vendors. Whereas our family is always told, if they are into trouble, you need to go there, you need to understand their problem, and if they are not able to solve it, you should be solving that for them. So I think that's a very, very basic thing, and that is what has created a lot of loyalty towards our company, our business today with vendors.
That's wonderful. So just getting back into the international foray of this game, right, that you are into right now. And you told us about what happened with Trump tariffs. It's an interesting discussion because the world is running around it. I know if US is not working, there are other markets, but how does, I would talk about how does an entrepreneur who's from India, dealing with a market like US, there's a huge impact because US plays an important role. How do you look at diving through that? If tariffs are implemented, are we going to go through tariffs and still sell the products, or what's going to happen in the market?
See, generally this is, US is something which everyone has been looking at. But this kind of things keep happening across the globe in different countries at different parts of the time.
Okay.
So, for example, Ghana was a very big market for us. I'm talking about the brand Dukes, which my uncle takes care. So I'm talking about, they are present in more than 120 countries, and they are one of the largest exporters of biscuits and chocolates. So Ghana itself, we used to sell 40 containers of biscuits in a month.
Wow.
And suddenly, Ghana government announced 200% duty on biscuits. So that same moment, all orders were cancelled. So everything, we had packing material, we had to find some other buyer to consume the packing material. So this kind of challenges keep happening. Ghana is one example, Nigeria is another example. US now is the latest example and hugely in limelight because of Trump.
Absolutely.
So these are everyday challenges that we face in exports.
Got it. So it's not like US stands out, it's how we look at it because it being a big market.
So only thing is, it's everyone is talking about US is because everyday news, that's the headlines. US tariff 50%.
Got it. So challenges is an everyday thing for you, right? In that space, how do you look at it? Because are there situations that you're already prepared as an organization because you're seeing things coming, seeing the global patterns that, hey, you know what, we should be ready for this situation in this way. There could always be in a year, a calendar year, a specific country or something happening where we need to have a backup. So you prepare yourself, one, because of experience. Yeah. Second question on that line would be, how do you treat challenge? What is the lens? What is the way that you and your organization look at challenges? Because you need to be fast. Yours is a product which doesn't have a shelf life which is too long. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
so
absolutely right.
Yeah, how does it work?
So the first thing is we believe in yesterday's thing. We don't believe in today or tomorrow. There's no tomorrow in our business.
Okay.
So the pace that we have to be is on a yesterday pace. If something was supposed to be done today, it should have happened yesterday.
Okay.
So that's the pace that we need to maintain. If we don't do that, there are enough competitors in the world who are ready to push us out.
Okay.
And to your first question, I would say as a thing we have decided that no country should be more than 15% of our exports. volume. So that is the way. That is the only way that we can cut risk. If suppose, I'm sure there are many aqua companies who are doing this shrimp and all.
Yes.
They were 100% US export based. Now with this 50% tariff, I really don't know what's happening to them.
True.
So we don't want to be in that kind of scenario where we are dependent on any country or any specific market. So we like to divide our risk.
It's a very, very good thing. And what happens when an unexpected challenge comes your way? How do you
There are no expected challenges.
Okay, then there are no expected challenges. Wrong question then. So how do you deal with these challenges? What is the immediate way when it is running on a timeline? The clock is ticking, the bomb's going to explode. How do you deal with it?
Like I was talking about, US, we are having around 12% of our exports from US. Suddenly US has this tariffs. So our distributor said, we will not be able to take orders. Will not be able to further give you orders. And in our particular thing, we have a packing material with specific country-based specific things. So if I'm not able to use it in US, I'll not be able to use it anywhere else.
Okay.
So overnight, we made all the products. We shipped it overnight just to ensure that, before the tariff hits, these containers reach US. So this kind of things are a day-to-day affair again for us.
Brilliant. Just reminds me of that baby movie of Akshay Kumar where you had to get it done in a timeline. It's very interesting because when we started our conversation, I really thought I'll jump more into legacy business because that's where we started our conversation before sitting in here. And as I spoke to you, I was more intrigued in the global affairs of things because there's so much knowledge, there's so much experience that you have, which I don't think we can completely capture in this video, which is probably a 30 minutes thing. But it's really interesting what you've stepped upon. So I want you to probably throw some light for any business which is planning to go global. What are the things that they should be wary of? Doesn't matter if it's first gen, second gen, new business. How do we, you gave me one point about not depending on one country, but what are the prime factors that you should look at if you want to be a global player in the future for your business? Because there are a lot of companies, I'd say even here in Corporate Connections, where they are domestically placed, but they're very, very eager on going global.
Right.
So what would be your message to them?
So first of all, as we are into domestic business also and exports also, I feel the way we approach a domestic market and exports is two different things altogether.
Okay.
You need to be on your toes, you need to be up and running on the click of a button in exports. If you miss the bus, you're gone.
Okay.
You'll be left out. So you have to catch every opportunity that comes your way. Travel, if someone who loves to travel, export is the business. Someone does not love to travel, still this business can happen, but might be at a slower pace.
Got it.
Like my uncle, I was telling you, he is heading the largest exports of biscuits. He hardly traveled. He was sitting in his office, business keep coming in.
Okay.
So I had to compete with him in a positive way. So I cannot do the same thing. If I had done the same thing, maybe it would have taken ages to reach wherever I am today. So I went into the market. I learned a lot of things. I came to know what is there in the local market, how to go about it. So the adaptability which I could get into the system for a particular country was way better. I could, when I was traveling, I could also tell our distributors, prospective importers, see, this is the product which your competitors are doing. This is the product which is going well in the market. This is what we can do. If we don't do that, we are only dependent on distributors' intellect, that
True.
What can go, what cannot go.
True.
So that really helps. And again and again, the policy changes, war in Ukraine and Russia made the freight rates go skyrocketing. So everything affects your exports. So you need to be on your toes. You need to be looking at newer opportunities.
Great, great. I think those are three great mantras that you've given, and I really like the second part that you said, that if you love travel, the business moves at a faster pace, right? Because it slightly becomes a part of your life. It's
Right.
It cannot be detached. It just becomes a part of your life. But thank you so much. I think it was lovely having this conversation with you.
Pleasure was all
So
mine.
much on legacy, so much on international markets, little bit sneak peek into your personal life where friends matter a lot to you. I can very much correlate because that's something that really means a lot to me. That's my reset button as well. So you always find something that's interesting that makes a lot of sense, right? But I think it was just wonderful. I would love to learn more about this maybe when we catch up
Anytime.
next. But thank you so much, Adarsh, once again for being
Thank you.
here. Thank you.